Hi there, how are you doing, Steve?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing today?
Oh, you know what? I just got a message yesterday, it just showed up on my screen advertising, GPS collars for fencing. And I was like, wait, GPS
Fencing?
invisible fencing? Because I had an idea that, this is regular fencing where, you just put the wires around the house, the property, and if your dog gets too close, it's going to get shocked and just, creates that invisible fence. But now technology has been a step further, and now they're offering invisible fence that is not even wired. It goes by GPS tracking. So there's a device on a dog that puts the dog into a GPS fence that is determined by the system that you program, and actually they have an app for that. Now I want to just clarify here, I'm totally against it. And I'm gonna
Oh,
share some short information why I'm against it. But next Saturday, I'll do a full off informative video review, and I have enough panelists on it that experts in their fields, talking about the bad side of it, because the bad side is more than the good side. There are many, many, many unforeseen factors, and it's really about let me remember the numbers to be correct.
now let me get this straight. Does this collar you create its own GPS fence? Okay.
Yep.
So instead of just telling you where the dog is, it keeps it into that border, that fence. So it's a shot collar.
Yeah, it is a shock collar.
Okay.
No, hold on. Let me read the message. I just got the message from them. I have it right here. So here is the message. Let me make sure
Mm-hmm.
everybody knows that. Okay, I posted on their posts. Hi Roman, we are proud to align with Caesar's mission to train humans, rehabilitate dogs, and improve the trust, respect, and love between humans and dogs everywhere in that fence perimeter. Okay. Also, to clarify, the hollow collar does not use shock. What? The hollow collar does not use shock. Instead, our static feedback, which is shock, but we don't call it shock, we call
No
it
collar.
feedback, uses a pulse similar to a tense unit of a muscle massage and physical therapy. Wow. Okay. This static feedback only occurs on the most shallow terminal layer, providing a sense of touch to your pup to keep them comfortable and safe. Now, if my dogs feel comfortable about a touch, he would not leave my touch and comfort. He stays on that step of comfort, okay? And I reply, sure, no problem. I'll try it on a child, ask him how the muscle massage feels on his neck, and actually I can use it also to bring my child safe back from school. And the funny part is, they have a warning sign, okay? To prevent irritation from the contact points, remove the collar of at least 8 hours of
Shit.
every 24 hours. The design of a hollow collar is not for human use, and anyway, do not ever use it on a person. Why? It's just a massage. Okay? Anyway,
So
so,
now you can't test it on your child and bring your child back from school,
right.
but
So,
we're going to put it on a dog.
I want to be fair, and I want to discuss all their points.
Yes.
Okay, and I have a backup. I have 26 scientific papers that explain exactly how this works and what they call shock, and why it works and why it doesn't work, and if it works, what does it do, at what cost, and why we should not use it. And the other funny part is that they also have an app. And you know how I am. I had to push that button. And I had to download that app because I just want to know. Let me find that app because it's kind of cute. Look at nice colors. Nice and yellow color gives you already a
Oh
warning
man,
sign. Okay,
look at this.
good. And so I already has a sign of my dog. I call him Herman, Herman Monster, the one who's gonna act like exactly, right?
You know what that is?
Yeah, no,
Chip
not
scanner.
really. Oh, yeah, well, this
Is that
technology does everything for the pet.
is
And
this
so
the
it
same
talks,
company?
and I have to say it's really accurate. Not really. It's kind of a little bit off.
Hmm.
But I can this is my property here. So theoretically, I had to buy about $1,000 equipment and training sessions and packages to train my dog for 28 days to stay in that perimeter. And of course, they say it is totally safe for the dog. And we're going to discuss that. What is safe? What can happen to the dog if the system fails? What happens to the dog if the dog leaves the perimeter? Because they have that option too. Obviously, it can happen. So even they say it doesn't happen, it does happen because they have already a backup plan for that. They have actually a system that will bring the dog back from where he got lost. So you know where your dog is because the GPS will show him around. You have a visual where your dog is heading towards the highway, wherever, or chasing the deers. And then the system has a home set which shocks the dog, massages the dog back home where he feels comfortable and safe,
Wow.
kind of, sort of. And
I was hoping you were going to say they have a drone that comes down, puts a leash on him, and takes him home. But that's not
well,
what.
I wish they had that option, but actually that system may come in the future, I guess. Anyway, it's not the only company. There are several companies. So let me share a little bit to see what these people have to say here. So there's this company.
Now, from the studios of Into Tomorrow in Miami, this is ITTV.
Keep their pets safe.
And of course, a lot of folks say, well, the best way is an actual fence, not so much a virtual fence, but that's not always realistic, I guess.
That's true. Depending on, maybe the neighborhood you live in, a fence may not be allowed. But if you are in a neighborhood or a property that allows for a fence, and if you want your dog to roam, building a physical fence is very expensive and costly, and also costly to maintain. So we want to come up with a solution that could give you an alternative to the physical fence.
I agree with this argument.
To allow their dog the freedom to roam. And if you've got a big property, then why not? Which then brings me to the SpotOn fence. Are there limitations in terms of distance, for example? Before we get into how it all works, but if you let your dog have that freedom to roam, can you spur something around an area, or is something the dog wears? Give us an idea.
So, unlike traditional systems, there are no buried wires or base stations that you have to set up. It's just a collar that the dog wears, and to set it up, all you have to do is put it in learn mode and walk the exact perimeter you want to contain your pet. And once you're done, you click save, and that's one of 10 fences that you could have on the collar. So it's highly portable and flexible.
So you could even then go to a dog park. There are many more of those popping up, and I guess do the same thing, walk the perimeter or portion of that dog park if you want to keep the dog there. How does it keep the dog in the virtual fence?
So that's a great point. And just a little addition to being at the park, instead of walking a custom fence, you could actually create a circle on the spot. So there's an instantaneous.
So no, that's the ID guy of the Into fence. Okay.
Okay.
SpotOn fence.
A circle of there's probably 10 different sizes that you can create on the spot and put the collar on your dog right away and let your dog go play. And the way that the fence is keeps your dog contained is as your dog approaches the boundary. That's
Hold on. Now it explains what's going to happen.
said. There's a series of tones. One's called an alert tone, and the second is a warning tone that occurs to let the dog know that they're approaching the boundary. If your pet is trained, which we have 3 custom training plans to help you and your dog learn the system, they'll understand what those tones mean. So you don't necessarily have to be at home or in a familiar place.
Wow, you don't even have to be at home. So you leave home, you let the dog with his GPS tracker, and the dog will just figure it out on his own. And if something happens, you have to just drive home and try to find your dog, right?
The dog
Sounds good on paper.
and if your dog does breach the boundary, they receive what's called an optional static correction.
An optional static correction, which the other people call it massage or soft touch.
Which is, something that is a stimulus to be able to truly keep your dog contained.
A stimulus that keeps your dog contained, like hugging, snuggling, petting, right? That's what the other guy explained.
That's been a tried and true method for several decades now.
Okay, so you see what's going on here, right?
Yep.
So a stimulus. So what
This
is an optional static correction? Okay.
That's a shock.
Oh, come on. It's just static. It doesn't really do something, right?
It's a massage.
Okay. So I want to Google it.
Mm-hmm.
Static correction.
Here's the problem with my breed. It's the location of the collar. You know, they've got extra fur around their neck to help. To help head off the kill shots from predators. Okay, and so that's probably the most protected part of the dog's body.
Oh yeah.
And they are putting a stimulant there. Isn't the dog thinking when something happens to their neck, something is attacking them and they can't see it? I feel bad for the person closest because they're going to look for who's attacking them.
I totally agree with you. Let's look into a skin of a dog. What exactly is that?
They're kind of thin-skinned when it comes to that.
Right. So look at that. So we see a dog skin that has this top layer, okay, and that layer from the top of the dog skin to the first nerves are basically about 3 cells thickness. A human skin is about 5 to 15 layers of cells until the sensors.
So we're not going to feel it like a dog does.
Of course not, because the sensory, the resistance of the skin towards that electrical stimulus slash massage slash static, stimulus is further deeper. But the other point that here I want to point out is that the problem with that, let me get out of this screen here, which I don't know how to get out of there, is that there are multiple sensors on the dog skin that people are not aware of. So let me pull up another there are, I should have the picture here somewhere. Okay, I think here I got it. So, epidermis sensors. You know what? I just put it up my document so I can show you guys. Because that needs to be known. Where is it? Jesus, I seem so unprepared, but I had an issue with my starting video. I had to reboot my computer and I totally freaked out, so here I am. Freaked out.
You're recovering from a freak out. I get it.
Exactly.
I've been there.
I got it. So I got everything set up. I have a backup plan. So let me pull here, make myself a little bit bigger so you guys can see that. So this is the epidermis of a dog, and you see there are 4 sensors attached to that. The heavy pressure vibration, light touch, and skin stretch. So imagine you're a dog, like a Pyrenees, and he's fighting with a wolf or an animal. And that information that comes from the skin, how much pressure, or the vibration, or the light touch, or the skin stretch, gives the dog an information, or his sympathetic system, in which direction to avoid the pressure. And then, what's exactly happening on the top of the skin? So all the vibration, all the sensory, so sensitive that he can feel a fly sitting on his neck. He can feel. Now what happens if that happens? So if that low steam stimulation kicks in, there is a chaos happening on those dog sensory systems, high and low at the same time, as much as in all directions a stretch and the light touch, because it's not happening on the dog's skin, it happens on the underlayer where the stimulation kicks in. So basically the dog's nerves are being electrocuted, get an electrical shock in a very low level, but the nervous system doesn't care how high the level is. It goes the minimum level that he receives. And you know how we do. You have fixed an electrical outlet and you didn't switch on the switch because you wanted to working on a wire hot, right? And you got shocked. You know, it depends on how your skin in that particular moment feels it. So the more stressed the dog is, the less sensory there is. The calmer the dog, the more sensitive he is. So the more the stressors kicks in, the dog suddenly becomes more alert. Now what happens is when you train the dog on that shock collar, now that memory is on all the time. Okay? It's on all the time. So you don't really need that intensity. It just needs a reminder for that shock PTSD response to kick back in. So once the dog gets the first trigger through the training or in training mode, that repetition, the tone, puts the dog back in the PTSD mode. His sympathetic system triggers the dog to be in that fear state. Now, I want to show you again what's happening with the skin, right? So you see the difference on the dog skin, how thin that skin of a dog is, and how thick the human skin is. Now, if we look at the dog, which is number 6, which is the area around the neck, this area is compressed and most sensors around that neck, which causes the dog to be extremely sensitive about the neck. And why around the neck? Because as a predator, you kill through the neck. You kill the dog, you kill the animal, you kill your prey through the neck. So especially around the neck, the dog needs to know how to avoid to be killed. So if you use this stimulation, or you use this soft pressure or massage, whatever they want to call it, you trigger the dog's survival mode. And I understand the point where people say, you know, my dog needs to be contained. I want my dog to be free. Okay, so why do you put the fence on? He can be free on the fence, but wait, we have the neighborhood issue. We cannot have fences in the neighborhood. And so the excuse for that is to put the dogs in shock collar on. And my question is, okay, what is the enrichment of the dog being outside on the fence on his own? There is no.
I have a fence, and I have 3 Great Pyrenees here. Other than the young one, they go out, walk, lay down. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I was driving around the other day, and I saw these homeless people, and they have dogs. They don't even own a leash. What's happening there? How are these dogs contained? Because definitely they cannot have a shock collar on. It's an expensive thing to have. And on the other hand, those dogs don't walk away. And I was wondering, what is that makes them dogs stay there? And you know, we have to be also clear, there are some dogs who are difficult to contain because they're in a high prey drive. They see something moving, they're going to chase it. Well, what's going to happen with the deer that passes by? Okay, will that help? I don't think a dog was smart enough to recognize if you run fast enough through the fence, you can skip that fence. I know dogs who are smart enough to do that. A Pyrenees can climb over a 6-foot fence, no problem, right? A dog who has a duty to protect his property, he doesn't care about pain. There is no containment. He has to get out and take care of business.
It's a guardian breed.
Yep. A dog, a guardian breed, will go into fire, which is unheard of, but dogs will do that, run into the fire and save cats. Why would they do that? Well, they don't get burned? No, they don't care at that point, because their job is to get safe out.
And the key is job.
Right? So, we have to be very careful with where this is going. We are already going in the wrong direction on using the shock collars, but now it becomes so convenient because we use these nice fancy terms. So next Saturday we're going to sit down. I have a lot of evidence captured together. I have no need to call one of those guys to a conversation because I know where he's heading on. They're going to try to convince me that a shock is just a massage, while their warning signs are very clear what it is. And then they're going to call in their IT guys, and I'm an engineer too, so I don't have a problem talking with those guys. Try to explain to me how a shock works, how a massage works, how a massage stimulation works. That's nothing new. Everybody has done it before, know exactly how it feels like. But I will call in veterinarians and I will call behaviorists on board so we can discuss things from a real perspective, what the reality is, because their reality is to make money. That's their money reality. And to be honest, we're talking about $95 billion market. They don't care about your dog's feelings. They care about you spending the money because you want your dog to be free roaming around in your yard while you taking care of your work and earn the money to pay them. And they don't really care because it will be finally your fault. Definitely, because if you haven't bought the program, the 28-day program, and you haven't done everything right, because theoretically speaking, the system is perfect, well, obviously it's your dog or you who failed, so we are out of problems.
You know,
So,
and that's what they do. Some of the folks that never had a problem with their dogs, they go out and walk them 10 miles a day, they're very athletic. Somebody told them their dog needs more, and that's sales. That's advertising.
Let me show you.
Nobody asked the dog.
Yeah, right. Why asking the dog? Dogs don't speak. I have it on record. They're very clear.
And
let
I
me,
will
let
argue
me,
with that.
yeah, let me pull that up here for you. Let me see where it is. Let's go away from that. Great. Okay, no problem. We got this. Good. I'm gonna share the screen with you guys so you can see what the marketing says about that. Marketing says, you know what, I'm gonna call in Cesar Milan and he's my best guy, and he's gonna explain to us how this works, because things are awesome. You see a nice handsome guy hugging his dog, introducing the halo. Okay. Yeah, his property.
I spent my career as a dog expert teaching people how to connect with their dogs with trust, respect, and love, instead of a tie dish. I always wanted to make this a reality for everyone, so I partnered with Technology Whispers to create an amazing app and a smart color system that will help provide dog owners with what they envision for themselves and their dogs. Humans understand their phones. I understand dogs. There's a bridge to connect humans to dogs so they can safely follow, play, and explore. With my help, the Halo collar will keep dogs away from dangers, like cars and roads, while supporting the individual rules, boundaries, and limitations that provide peace of mind for the parents and their dogs. Our dogs trust us with their lives. Now, any dog can have a lifetime of freedom and safety with Halo.
I'm speechless. Anyway, you see how that goes, where it starts. It starts with you love your dog, okay? You by way know an expert, but he's an expert, and he's gonna teach us how to contain the dog. Why does he have fences in his rescue? Question. He could get rid of all the fences right now and have all these dogs on that collar. He's part of that system, so obviously he gets it for free. He still has fences. Obviously it doesn't work on everyone. Obviously it doesn't really work the way he thinks it is. And then they go down here and try to sell you a program for 28 days to work on your dog and teach your dog how to stay contained. Now my question is, if you train your dog to stay contained, then why do you use a collar? What does the collar exactly do? What the collar does, basically, he has multiple functions. It has GPS tracking. It has a video camera so you can watch your dog. You can actually talk to your dog through the phone. Hey buddy, what's up? Are you getting shocked again? Oh, you saw the cut? I'm so sorry. Okay. And the other feature is it has the automatic system. If your dog leaves the premises and he got lost because he rides the fence, the dog is automatically shocked back home. Because remember, it gives you a couple of warning signs. But what if the dog doesn't listen to those signs? What is the next? Oh, well, we do a little bit more massage. A little bit harder, a little bit stronger, like Swedish massage kind of thing, right? And then if that doesn't work, then we go a little bit with KGB massage. A little bit of stimulation, like a couple of volts, a little bit up, a couple of amps. And that brings your dog safely home. And you don't even need to be there. You get a message on your phone. Your dog is back safe, and you'll be happy about that. And I was wondering what's going to happen to that dog later. So, what do you think?
What happens to the dog that gets out because there's a threat out there? Now, all of a sudden, he's being shocked back home. But yet the threat's still out there, and it's still real. Now, and that's not just a Great Pyrenees, it's any of the Guardian breeds, and there are many. And then the different scenario could be, is he going to associate that shock with you because it's back at your home?
No, of course not.
Okay.
He's going to associate with that what he tries to do.
Okay.
Like the reason why he tried to attack the cat is being shocked because the cat or the person or the passing deer or the passing car.
Okay, so all we're going to do is stop him from chasing the real threat then, because now he has to go home because he's being shot.
Exactly. But anyway, the other thing that we see here is that from a scientific perspective, it causes the dog stress. And I see where this is going with a reply. You know what? How stressed it is, a dog being all day long in your house. How stressful it is for your dog not to be able to be free. You're going on vacation. You don't need to take your fence with you. Just take that shock collar with you. You know where you are. You know where your dog is. Oh, wait a minute. You don't have a Wi-Fi? Oh, man, sorry. But you have GPS. But you don't know where your dog is because obviously you don't have a Wi-Fi either and your signal where you are in the woods. So theoretically speaking, if you're smart enough, you're going to program that at your house as if you knew exactly where you're heading at, and you know exactly, you just Google research, it has a zoom up in, you zoom in and fence your old property. You're sitting on a condo somewhere outside in Nevada somewhere, you're going to fence that line on, and that fence has plus minus couple of feet, accuracy. And even if you don't have a signal there, that collar will memorize that design, and you're going to go there and fence and have to rely on it if it works or not. And by the way, it says it can have a failure sometimes. People return their collars because they don't have a Wi-Fi signal, they don't have a GPS. How many times did you get lost with your phone, try to find an address? And these things, we have this for years. Okay, and then you're there at the address, says, oh, wrong address. So wait a minute, what happened? That's not the address. This house is further down. So if you live near the street and that thing doesn't work exactly, you eventually have your dog fence starting at the street and not at your fence. So we're gonna talk about all this because people need to know, and I hope I have you here.
I like the concept. I like the idea. Okay.
Of what?
Of this collar until it came to the massage part.
Yeah, I
This
agree.
thing's cool.
Also, it says you can talk to your dog.
That's cool too.
Okay, so for example, your dog goes to the toilet and tries to eat a toilet paper roll, and you can see it on the video. You can see the toilet paper roll kind of rolling down. You can see this endless roll come down, and you're like, no, stop. And my question is, no, stop, or what? So that system even relies on punishment, because otherwise, why would the dog stop? Because you talked to him on the phone? What should the dog do? So if you spend so much time and money in training your dog to tolerate a collar that actually doesn't work, you can spend that time and money on yourself, getting educated, teaching your dog how to stay contained. And I know people says blah blah blah, you know what, how do I keep my dog contained? Well, there are limitations on about your dog containments, as long as there are limitations of that system functioning. There is no guarantee. The simplest way to contain your dog is having a fence. If your dog is an escape artist, you need a higher fence, you need a privacy fence.
Or you need a better relationship with your dog.
Well, okay, let's start with the secure area first.
Yeah.
There are coyote rollers on top of your fence that you can install. They're inexpensive. You can actually do it yourself kind of thing, using a wire on the top of each fence post and pull in a very thin PVC pipe. And on top of that PVC type, you put another PVC type, a little bit bigger. So the dog, every time he wants to jump on that, these things will roll him back down. He will not be able to get over it. And because the wire is being thin, that PVC pipe will have enough rolling mechanism, enough non-friction for your dog not to be able to grasp on it. Okay, so that is the first containment, very secure. If a coyote cannot come in, your dog cannot get out anyway. So then we have people who says, yeah, you know, I have my property management. He doesn't allow me to put a fence on. What else should I do? Okay, well, you cannot have everything. I want a Ferrari. I cannot afford one. Okay, I couldn't even afford a used one. Why do I have to have a Ferrari? I can have a smaller car. No big deal. I have one. It's a Honda Fit, little tight, cozy. Does the job perfectly. You take your dog, go to a fenced park, and enjoy your dog's interactions and socialize him. Because I see people why they have that fence, because they don't have time for the dog. They open the door, let the dog out. I do that too. I'm working on my house here right now. I have a fenced yard. I let the dog fencing around in the yard while I'm doing the work inside. I have the feeling of my dog being free, doing whatever he wants. But it's safe. Every day in the morning I walk through the fence, making sure, no, I don't. Okay, I'm just a liar. No, I'm going through the fence and checking this fence out, making sure there is no hole or penetration in it. And if somebody's being mean, and pull the stick out of my fence so my dogs can get out. So that's what I do. And if I didn't have that, because I live in an RV, I create a small fenced area so my dogs can be outside with a, you know, small fence, so I can watch my dog through my window while I'm having a session. And then, even if I don't have that, I take my dog on a leash, on a 30-foot leash, on a 50-foot leash, and go outside for a walk, giving a little bit more freedom. What does freedom mean for a dog? Why does a dog have to have a GPS freedom?
I think the important part here, Roman, is the human factor.
I agree.
You maintain the human factor. This seems to be trying to eliminate the human factor.
Well, you know what? In
To
the virtual
like-
reality, you can use your app, right? No? You can talk to your phone, to your dog through the app. Actually, the dog can bark you back, and you're like, oh my God, he just barked me back. As if the dog knows exactly what you are, and his emotional relationship is totally over the roof right now. He has theoretically a dog sexual arousal because you just talk to your dog through the phone.
My dog didn't recognize my voice talking to him through an IP camera.
I know I have clients that I work online. Sometimes I hear people says, "Oh my God, he knows your voice. He comes up and looks at the screen." I was like,
That's not
sure.
why
Yeah, no, well, you know what? Actually, yeah, it does because
he hears
when
something.
yeah, dogs are smart. They understand. They understand the dog's the person's emotional state. And you know, when I work with people online, they do feel more comfortable. The energy changes. They have support. You know, we can talk about stuff out, and the dog feels really the difference. And so, if I'm on the phone and the person feels calm, the dog comes up like, "Oh, what's up? Now time for me to be petted," kind of thing. Um, so I can see that, but I don't feel that that is a reason to go down that route. I'd rather have a pet sitter coming to my house. Of course it costs, but you know what? Having a dog costs, having a child costs, having an expensive car costs. Sometimes you have to cut. How about you cut a couple of TV channels? How about you cut once a week going out for dinner? Okay, how about you cut off a little bit on your gas expenses, drive less expensive, and then save some money for somebody you truly love. And sometimes you just cannot have a dog because you don't have these possibilities. You don't have a
Sometimes,
car,
yeah.
you don't have a fence, you have a HOA that doesn't allow you to do. You have wild animals around your property. Man, you cannot have a dog who cannot be contained around your house. That's it. Of course you can choose to do that option and shock your dog, but honestly, is that what you call freedom? Because your dog is not free since he's contained with that invisible fence. So it's an illusion of a freedom. What does freedom mean to a dog? A dog is free anyway. His freedom to choose how far you let him go, it's not freedom either. I feel a dog next to you walking down the street having a freedom of relationship is more important than having a dog freedom of a 50-acre property that you can virtually fence. A dog doesn't need that property. What he needs is interaction and social interactions and stimulus. So if you don't have your dog's enrichment, that fence is worthless.
Yep.
So I feel it's better to invest in enrichment toys and enrichment interactions and having a pet sitter come into your house, work with your dog while you don't have a time, before investing thousands of dollars into a training system that's possibly not working. Like from an engineer's perspective, what's that? Oh, enrichment toy.
I make them.
Yeah, cool. Why not?
They learn things.
They
They
do.
use their brain. So, and they get rewarded. And that costs $1 to make it.
Right? So I want to check in with something here. We want to see a little bit how things work, because it says you. Let's look at the team. Let me share. Where is that? Here we go. So they're calling team of experts, and which is ridiculous. So, international recognized dog whisperer, renowned dog psychologist expert. Well, he's not international acknowledged. Basically, he's banned for going in certain areas, and he's banned from in Europe to teach any classes. And we have Ken, who is a great guy, and he's pioneering in, in engineering. Awesome. And then we have Michael, who spends 24 years ID systems. So we have basically here super experts, except of anyone knows anything about dogs. Okay, so what do we have next? Mission: road safety, roadside safety. A staggering number of dogs are hit by cars. Our system obviously stops doing that. The Halo system is designed to work with your dog's instincts. Wow. Dogs keep them inside their fences and out of the harm's way. No more lost dogs because you can track them GPS. The other thing says better balance, better behavior. What exactly does Halo do? Provides automated and manual feedback. Automated and manual feedback so that you won't be associated with the rules. Why not? Why would the dog not be associating me with the rules and he has to associate it with a device? What does a device do that we don't want him to associate with us? Because they're shocking, right? Live a life unleashed. Live a life unleashed. Halo uses holistic approach. What?
What?
Okay, Halo uses holistic approach to help you teach your dog to respect boundaries using mental exercise rather than physical discipline. Okay, wait a minute. So which part don't I get it right? The mental exercise doing what? Waiting in the yard for somebody to show up so he can chase it and be scared moving? And what's exactly the physical discipline that he doesn't do if he's physically disciplined as explained before? Okay, manual feedback is what exactly? Okay, Halo uses natural, simple, profound communication. Natural, simple, profound communication is what? To create better boundaries and less worry. So they're playing with these magic words and you're like, oh my god, my dog will be healthier after wearing that collar, right? So freedom
This
anytime.
makes me angry.
You know what? I really have to contain myself. Really, I'm really upset. But anyway, features. Oh no, wait. Let's go to help. I have a problem right now. Okay.
Roman, I'm going to have to excuse myself here.
Okay.
I have one I have to get ready for here. It's with some other people.
Okay.
And I thank you for having me on, and I can't wait to see this posted.
Good. We talk next Saturday.
Thank you,
I'm gonna
Roman.
go through here. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
And so we're gonna go a little bit further here because I would like you to guys to be educated. What's going on here? So if we go here and we explore the help feature. Where is help? Here is help. Let's help. And then we go general questions. Okay. It says, how is Halo different from other smart collars? There you go. Halo is foremost safety's as most advanced visual fence for your dog, but also offers much more than any e-collar. Okay, so it doesn't say I'm not an e-collar, it says it offers more than an e-collar. So clearly it uses shock collar because that's what the e-collar does. Halo fence keep your dog safely inside the boundaries that you easily define through the app that is allowed for children over 4 years old, so make sure your child doesn't have access to your phone if you really buy that crap, and prevents them from leaving, unlikely other tracking collars which only track and not notify you for their escape. It also keeps track of the activity levels and exercise the dog has in the freedom the fence provides. Okay, now the other question is how accurate are fences compared to wire fences? The accuracy depends on your satellite, right? Its advanced GPS system of Halo collar is extremely accurate. It uses, like, how extremely? Can you give me kind of a footage, like how many feet? Okay, it doesn't. It just says extremely. Extremely is relative because I'm extremely hot right now, but it's not really cold. It uses the latest geolocation technology. It doesn't even tell me how many satellites it used so I can calculate the accuracy. I tested their GPS tracker on the app and it values about 8 feet where I am because it doesn't really do. It goes with the accuracy of your phone, not with the satellite, obviously. So, Halo fence posts can be placed anywhere and are not limited to geographic or obstacles that prevent the installation of the wire. Okay, I agree with that. So you don't have a wire, you don't have a problem, right? As long as the fence collar has a view to the satellite, because if you're living in a populated tree area and you have no visual to the satellite, your dog doesn't get the boundaries. Anyway, then it asks how smart it is. Halo is the first, foremost, the safest and most advanced visual fence. And here comes. The hollow collar prevents, protects, tracks, and trains your dog, and can even guide your dog home. How exactly would the collar guide my dog home? Using the shock through the GPS tracking, guide him back through the road, over the fence, through the river, through the danger, safely back home, because that's what it does. Because if the collar doesn't have a logic to evaluate the danger of a route, it only goes with directions that are being tracked through the collar's memory with the way the dog obviously walked. It's like he walks the dog backwards, I guess. Or sends him in a direction, it doesn't matter what in between, of a train, tracks, or a river, or a ditch, or something. It just sends your dog home, magically, through massage. So, yeah, that's worrisome. Okay, so, long story short, I think we should look deeper into that, and I will invite a couple of people that are knowledgeable on the subject. I used to be a shock collar trainer in the past, and I'm converted. I recognize my mistakes, and I recognize what damage it does to the dogs, and I joined the Shock Free Coalition, and I'm a firm supporter of force-free training, 100%, because I know what it does, and I prove it to you. Okay, so looking forward to see you next Saturday, and we start Saturday 9 o'clock Pacific time, and you will be surprised how deep we will go. Thanks for watching, and talk to you soon.